What is up, rockers of the Rock Nation? This is your fellow rocker, ex-Rockerman X here, back with another video. And, well, let's just say is today, it's going to be on, another review video on Raw this past Monday. And for the most part, well, let me put it to Raw for 10/27/14. So basically, yeah, this past Raw. And before I start any of this, I am going to try to talk about this as non-biased as possible, even though it may be hard. And when it comes to me rating, it's going to be mostly me rating the matches. Not really gonna rate the whole show, even though I actually will talk about the whole show. There you go. But before I say this, let me just say, starting off with Raw, anything non-Cena and non-Ambrose related, start it off, and then I'll go back and talk about them. But to kick off the show, we had the Authority, Seth Rollins, and a pissed off Orton. First, let's start with Authority. And this is one of the times I throw my own opinion. I actually like the Authority, mainly because Stephanie McMahon and Triple H, the experienced Kane, stuff like that. They're probably about, in the current WWE state, in the current past form of WWE, this is actually probably one of my favorite factions of the current era, other than when Evolution was back and when DX was back for a while and all that. So, there you go. And then, Seth Rollins. Here we have about him. Don't get me wrong here, Seth Rollins is a good wrestler. He's not particularly one of my favorite ones, but I admit he is good. And really, all the "you sold out" chants is fucking annoying. I mean, I understand it's a fan's right to talk about or chant what they want, whenever they want, whatever. But that gets annoying because really, no offense, the Shield was actually getting old. And really, I actually liked it when Seth Rollins pretty much turned his back on the Shield, because, you know, right, there's always a plan B. And then, really, other than that, we have, and Seth Rollins can actually pretty much is a good talker in mic too. So there's that. And then you have the part when it comes to the pissed off Orton. And this part, I laughed my ass off, because in a way, this actually shows there is tension between the Authority, because Orton is technically part of the Authority still, or at least, hopefully he still is. But the point of this is, there's tension between Orton and Ambrose, or not Orton and Ambrose, Orton and Rollins. And to be honest, with that RKO to Rollins that Orton did, really it makes you wonder where this is going to go with Orton being part of the Authority. That's all I gotta say on that. And then and here comes the first matchup of the night. Stardust and Goldust versus Mark Henry and Big Show for the WWE Tag Team Championship. Now, to start off, I actually do like both teams here. Of course, Big Show and Mark Henry, two old school guys, along with Goldust being an old school guy. And of course, you got Stardust being Cody Rhodes, so no complaints there, really. But, let me just put it, Stardust and Goldust did start off rough. Even though they was making good defense back and forth against Mark Henry and Big Show. Sexual chocolate. No, I'm kidding. But anyway, that old school people will get that idea. But my point taken, though, is they was making good offense against them, or well, not really offense, really more defense, as I said. But then the tide of turn really changed when the tension between Big Show and Mark Henry really showed, and that's with like the forced tags and all that stuff. And of course, Henry did turn his back on Big Show in this match, doing a World's Strongest Slam to him. After Big Show did the knockout punch to Stardust, but then you kind of won, and now you and then the Mark Henry put Stardust over Big Show, letting Stardust and Goldust retain. So there you go with that. And really, to be honest, that's actually, like I said, this actually was a pretty good match. I'll give it about a. I actually gave this match a 2.5. So yeah, Stardust and Goldust won, so they retained. But as I said, this does show the tension between Mark Henry and Big Show, especially since Henry did 3 World Strongest Slams to Big Show and 1 splash to him after the match. And then the post-interview with Henry kind of shows either a bit of jealousy or something with Big Show, so there you go. And then you have the part when Roman Reigns was there over via satellite. And this match really shows something about Rollins, that he's really wanting to come back to get his hands a hold of Rollins, pretty much. There's that vendetta against Rollins still there, and there's that, how I want to put it, there's that revenge he wants. So, there you go. And then here comes the second match tonight, AJ Lee versus Alicia Fox. And I'm going to say this, and if I get crap about it, I will, but divas of today, in my opinion, can't really fight. Really, I think the divas are more like Lita, Trish, Tori Wilson, freaking Candice Michelle, Mickie James, Melina. People like, back in that older time period, the divas could actually fight. That's all I gotta say on that. So overall, this match to me, even though I admit they are divas, any guy would like that, but overall this match wasn't really that exciting, to be honest. The really main point to the match that I found entertaining was when AJ did counter into the DDT against Alicia, or when AJ won with a distraction from Paige. And I believe because I didn't watch, this is the first time I actually watched any wrestling about a month, so I'm not sure what happened at Hell in a Cell last night. But then from what I know, in that Paige freaking interfering against Alicia, since Alicia did kind of interfere with Paige's match, so there you go, it's like payback. And then while we're on the subject of divas, let's go to one of the match that happened later on the night. The Nikki Bella versus Naomi, with Naomi picking up the win. And if I didn't mention the last match, AJ did win, so there you go. But let's go with the last one, like I said. This match, while we're still on divas. Nikki Bella versus Naomi. Really, this match was not that entertaining either. I mean, really, the Bella rivalry, to me, is just almost another... It's like a twin version of the Hardy Boys rivalry, almost, to an extent, so there's that. And then, of course, Nikki won due to the fact that, due to the distraction by Brie, even though Brie really didn't want to help out. So, as I said, the sister rivalry here, don't know where it's really going to go, but I'm curious to see where it goes. Even though, as I said, it's probably another Hardy Boy, a twin sister Hardy Boy version. Maybe. I'm not saying that, I'm just saying it's maybe. But both those matches, AJ versus Alicia Fox and Nikki Bella versus Naomi, both get a 1.5 for me. So, there you go. And then, let me see here. I have to make sure I have this right, because I kind of skipped down my notes a little bit. Alright, and then you have one of the matches that happened earlier tonight. From that, you had the Usos versus Miz and Damien Sandow, or as people are calling out, Damien Mizdow. I kind of find that funny, but oh well. Really, you had, of course, Mizdow mimicking Miz, which is kind of the comical aspect of the duo. And then you had Miz and Mizdow, both good at, basically they was both good at double teaming for the most part, behind the referee's back without getting caught. But overall, too, even with the Usos, both teams able to counter. They're able to counter well against each other for the most part. And yes, I know I'm fucking around too much in my hat, but oh well. But pretty much there's that. And the Usos, of course, pulled off the victory using their version of twin magic. And honestly, as much as I find that resourceful, I also find that cheap. And it's kind of stupid because it's easy to tell the Usos apart, because one has a certain tattoo, one doesn't, so there you go. But overall, this match, I give it 2.5 as well. So there you go. And now, from there, let me go into the parts that actually revolve around Cena and Ambrose. So, at Hell in a Cell last night, there was Bray Wyatt interfered in the match against Ambrose and Rollins, causing Rollins to win and Ambrose to lose. Now, this and the recurrence to Raw tonight means the majority, because not on Raw, it was supposed to be Cesaro versus Ambrose. That match never happened because it ended up, before the match even started, Ambrose ended up basically beating the shit out of Cesaro, him being pissed off, and basically calling out Wyatt, which caused basically a Ambrose Wyatt promo, which in my opinion is actually setting up which all this event turned out to actually probably dealing with a Ambrose versus Wyatt feud, which, as I say, like I said, one of my other videos, Ambrose isn't particularly my favorite, but Bray Wyatt is probably another one of my favorites as around today. Even though it's a shame that they're probably breaking up the Wyatt family, but I don't know if that's true or not, that's what I heard. But overall, this is actually setting up, from what I can tell so far, a pretty decent feud between Ambrose and Wyatt. And to be honest, I'm actually willing to see where WWE's taking this. So there you go. And I just realized I forgot a match before I talked about this, so there you go. But let's go back to the open challenge, Bo Dallas versus Ryback. Now, this match wasn't nothing special. Honestly, this one is the lowest of the night I give at a 1.0, or at a 1 star. So there you go. And now back to the main thing. Now back to another part of the show. The Cena won last night against Randy Orton to get a chance at Brock for the W Championship. Now, this really kind of irritates me a bit because even though it is predictable and you probably knew it was going to happen. Even though I did say before I'd rather have Cena as champion over Brock too. I remember I did say that. But Cena in a way has had enough chances at the title. And really, if he wins it one more time, he ties Ric Flair's record for 16-time winning. Possibly, he's probably going to get it more times than that, but that's just me saying that. And that and with the Cena win, that leaves me talking about Hulk Hogan. Now, no offense to Hulk Hogan, one of the legendary people in the business, but the thing of it is, I feel like with Hulk Hogan, that was a waste. Because from currently what I've been saying about Hulk Hogan, from whenever he talks about Cena, it's almost like he's kissing Cena's ass. Now, I understand that his breast cancer stuff tonight was most likely legit. But, like I said, to me it seemed like Hogan's kissing Cena's ass. And I feel like since it was in San Antonio tonight, instead of having Hulk Hogan come out, they probably should have had Shawn Michaels come out to do something. That's just my opinion there. But, then again, no respect to Hulk Hogan, to me, just kissing Cena's ass. Could be legit, who knows. And from there, to me, leads to talking about the John Cena coming out to talking. And this really, for me for the most part, I admit, I wasn't really paying attention when Cena was talking about himself. When Stephanie came out was when I was kind of interested. And basically, Stephanie McMahon gave Cena an offer to join the Authority. And now here's the thing, what I would find interesting if Cena actually did accept. But knowing WWE, it's set up where he doesn't because he's like I said, the baby face of the WWE and all that shit. So, you know, he wouldn't join him. But for the most part, and all the rumors of Cena going heel has been dispelled by Cena himself. When he said, because he was I don't have the source, but I remember I did read a news article that actually did have him. That he did say that it would be bad for business, and with all the charity work he does, it'd be bad idea for him to go heel. So there you go. But it would have been interesting to see him if he actually did choose to join the Authority. But then you have the Triple H interruption. And then you have Team Cena, and with at Survivor, the traditional Survivor Series match. Here comes Team Cena versus the Team Authority, basically. And this I find interesting for the most part, too, because after that, you saw Dolph talking to Cena. So, Dolph could possibly be a part of Team Cena in the future. Who knows? But then from Dolph talking to Cena about it, here came another match. Kane versus Ziggler. And the match, now this match is actually well executed. Even though Kane was in control most of the match, Ziggler was able to make some form of comeback. Even as Kane and Ziggler both was able to make pretty good counters against each other. But as I said, Ziggler was able to make some form of comeback, and Dolph ended up winning pretty much. But after the match was a beatdown between Kane and Rollins, and of course Cena came out and helped Ziggler. So that also makes you speculate, is Ziggler part of Team Cena yet or not? And then in the Kane versus Ziggler match, I give a 3.0. A 3-star rating, pretty much. And then here comes the last match, the main event of the night. You have John Cena versus Seth Rollins. And this one actually was one that kept me, much as I don't like either that much, this match actually did pretty much keep me entertained for the most part. Really, it was an all-out battle between the two, at least for a Raw after a pay-per-view. Even though with Joey Mercury and Jamie Noble being out there, which, in case you both don't know, are actually old wrestlers who are now part more of the backstage stuff. But anyway, the interference by Joey Mercury and Jamie Noble was sort of expected with them being out there with Seth Rollins and all that. Yeah, even though again, like I said, expect it. Even with that though, the match was still back and forth. You can easily tell that. The athleticism this match actually did so. Rollins' athleticism for him being able to reverse the. I hate saying the AA, so I'm gonna call it the FU. Because the name change for the PG era kind of pisses me off to call it the attitude adjustment. So pretty much the way Rollins could reverse the FU, or him even reversing the STF, or as I call it still, the STFU. This showed some of the athleticism in Cena. It can also show that he was resilient for the most part, even though I say the outcome is predictable. Just saying. It's always like that with the Cena match, with the outcome being different, because either Cena winning by pinfall or submission, which I don't think, or it's always some kind of disqualification against Rollins or whoever Cena's against, to Cena to pick up the victory that way, and the DQ tonight. So I kind of knew that was going to happen. I'm pretty sure as much of us did. And then, of course, near the end, Ziggler comes out to help Cena with the beatdown, blah, blah, blah. But overall, this match, I give it a 4.0, which is my highest match tonight, because this one actually did keep my interest over most of them. And then with that, I hate you drinking now, but... And then with the end of the show, basically became an all-out war between the entire locker room. And this, in the middle of the ring, and this really says who's going to be on whose side, or who's going to be on whose team come... Come Survivor Series. Who's going to be on Team Cena, who's going to be on Team Authority. It really shows, because there's all this beating the fuck out of each other, pretty much, and it's just really there. I have nothing to say. But overall, the show tonight was actually pretty decent. Wasn't the best I've seen, even though, like I said before, I haven't really watched it in about a month yet. Or in about a month, this is the first time I actually watched it. But overall, the show was pretty decent for a PG era show. Even though the PG era isn't my favorite era, I like the TV-14 era more, so there you go. And that's about all I have to say. Like I said, the show's pretty good for a PG era show. That's really all I gotta say. Really no rating there, but all the matches, as I said, the match range will be in the description. So if you guys missed them, you can look at it. But here comes the part where I say my outro, but before I do, also, down in the description box, if you guys would want to like my Facebook page to be a greater part of Rock Nation and join in on any conversations our Facebook page might have, I say, why not? Like the Facebook page down below. And if you guys want to my channel, like this video, comment on it, or subscribe to it. Do whatever you want. You know, every little bit helps. That's if you guys want to. And I'm not for sure if I'm going to do this or not, but if by chance my Twitter's down below, then follow me on my Twitter. And until next time, rockers, live free and rock.